This is News 8 Now, this morning.
It was disappointing that the mayor did that, I think, and it disappoints the seniors that really it's not a good day for them to be out driving, but they came out in force to show their support for Harry J.
Swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
Listening and always doing what's best for the community, always taking care of your deputies and your jailers, and making sure that that the community is cared for and that the people you work with are cared for.
So easy to fall off. You know, you come in the first of the year, you start doing, your exercises, and you have that like shot of energy, fresh start, fresh year.
And that was your eye-opener. Good morning, everybody, and thanks for watching News 8 Now this morning. I'm Ken Kozarowski, and that is Derek Sibley. Now 6 a.m. on this Wednesday, January 4th, 2023. Another morning for me, driving through that ice and slush mix. It always sounds good underneath the car. It sounds like parts of my car is going to get destroyed. But more broadly, Derek, we do have another weather alert day today.
Yeah, that's right, Ken. We are tracking some more snow showers here for you this morning, but they're mainly focused well to our west along the Twin Cities. But we're actually still getting effects from it now with that low here as it's nearby. Looking at some scattered snow activity across our western zones, anywhere from about Wabasha County down to the south, northward across Dunn County and into portions of Chippewa and also into Rusk County as well. Even some light snow flurries in Eau Claire County here this morning. Now, if you're not looking at snow, which a lot of us aren't, well, you are definitely dealing with the low visibilities here this morning, anywhere between around 1 to 3 miles across much of the area. So make sure to use your low beam headlights as you head out the door here this morning. Our current temperatures are in the 30s. We got 33 now in Eau Claire and 35. Good morning to you in La Crosse. Let's get checked now at your planner here for the rest of the morning. We'll start with that. We'll look at the foggy conditions through at least 7 o'clock. And then by 9 o'clock, some of us tap into some of that snow, maybe even mixing in with some rain there at times. And then the rest of the day is just going to feature some scattered off and on snow showers there at times, with temperatures pretty mild for this time of the year, with highs into the mid-30s and a light southerly wind today at around 5 to 10 miles an hour here to work with here for us today, Ken. But I'll be back with the full weather forecast. We'll talk about some of those winter weather advisories that some of us are in place and how much more snow that we could see too.
All right, we look forward to it. Thanks, Derek. On the news front, $30,000. That's how much it cost the city of La Crosse to open emergency shelter during last month's storm for just 4.5 days. News 8 Now's Dua Israr spoke to the city's homeless services coordinator, who broke down the bill for us.
Severe winter weather has a heavy price tag. For the city of La Crosse, it's roughly $30,000.
There's a last-minute plan that was implemented.
In December, La Crosse Mayor Mitch Reynolds issued an emergency declaration to open city-owned buildings during severe winter weather for unsheltered people.
It's no longer safe to be outside and subject to the elements.
The Southside Neighborhood Center provided shelter for 4.5 days at the city's expense.
The two main components of the overflow plan are for security and then for cleaning the day after.
La Crosse's homeless service coordinator Brian Sampson says the bill can be paid for using city funds, including American Rescue Plan Act money.
Part of the emergency proclamation allows the mayor to tap into other city funds.
Now, the city is also turning to the community and a local nonprofit to help pay for any future emergency decree.
We're doing as much as we can as a community to take care of what really is one of our most vulnerable populations during the winter time.
The La Crosse Community Foundation will collect donations for security and cleaning costs.
So we will receive the donations, and then once the city has proven there are expenses attached to that, we will release the funds to the city.
Sampson says this is only a short-term solution.
We need all community partners to continue working together and continue to develop a plan to address this long-term.
And will help the unsheltered get through a Wisconsin winter. Reporting in La Crosse, Dua Israr, News 8 Now.
Thanks very much, Dua. And the City Council will vote this Thursday on what funds to use to pay for that bill. If you're interested in donating to the Overflow Shelter Fund, we have posted more information on news8000.com. Members of La Crosse's Harry J. Olson Senior Center say they are frustrated with the mayor yet again, this time for postponing a meeting with members of the City Council. The center and Mayor Mitch Reynolds have been at odds for months over the center's proposal to buy the building from the city. In February, La Crosse's Board of Public Works chose to terminate the center's lease. It ended in May. And the city also have threatened to evict members if they didn't vacate. The nonprofit wants to buy the building, but Reynolds doesn't support the proposal. The two groups were supposed to meet Tuesday, but Mayor Reynolds, who appeared by Zoom, made a motion to postpone.
It was disappointing that the mayor did that, I think, and it disappoints the seniors that really it's not a good day for them to be out driving, but they came out in force to show their support for Harry J.
Mayor Reynolds was in Madison for the governor's inauguration, and the Board of Public Works voted to reschedule for Thursday night during the Finance and Personnel meeting. Goggins says she and the center's members do plan on attending. La Crosse's City Planning Commission voted to rezone a future 4-story building in the Washburn neighborhood. The building will have 64 housing units. In order to have a better chance of qualifying for low-income tax credits, the developers are adding a 360-square-foot classroom or community facility that would be open to the public.
These programs and services could include financial literacy classes, employment counseling, job readiness skills, GED classes, and much more.
The programming and scheduling of the space would be up to the on-site property manager. And since it's open to the public, the building needed to be zoned differently. The building will have both low-income and market rate units. The La Crosse Planning Commission also approved a grant agreement with the Wisconsin Department of Transportation to expand the Wagon Wheel Trail. The trail is already open in La Crescent, and the grant will expand it to connect La Crescent and La Crosse. It'll run along Highway 1461, crossing the Mississippi River. There are also plans in place to widen sidewalks and add signage. 9 people have filed papers for the 4 vacant seats that will appear on La Crosse's school board April ballot. 4 board members whose seats are up for election have chosen not to run again. 3 of the vacant seats are available 3-year terms, with the last seat available for just 1 year. According to newly released documents, Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson spoke to the state's Republican chairman about having the Republican-controlled legislature choose Wisconsin's presidential electors instead of voters. The House Select Committee released new documents including testimony from Chairman Andrew Hitt. Hitt testified that Johnson spoke to him weeks before Biden assumed the presidency. In a statement Tuesday, Johnson says he has no recollection of the conversation and accused the committee of attempting to smear him. It was a big day for elected officials on Tuesday. Local, state, and national representatives all took official oaths of office on Tuesday. During his second inaugural address, Governor Tony Evers outlined his plans for the new legislative session, including an increase to education funding and a tax cut for the middle class. Republicans have been floating a different approach to taxes, called a flat tax, and it reduces taxes on higher income earners so that everyone pays the same rate.
People voted because they believe, as I do, that when we deliver tax relief, it should be targeted to the middle class to give working families a little breathing room in their family budget.
Even the voters of Illinois said they prefer to have a flat tax over a progressive tax system. So it is clearly something that is popular. It's something that I think we should attempt to get in Wisconsin.
So, disagreements already in the first day of the new session. State lawmakers were also sworn in the afternoon. The State Assembly voted to keep Robin Vos, who you just saw, as Speaker. Vos is the longest-serving Assembly Speaker in Wisconsin history. Wisconsin's new Congressman Derek Van Orden, representing the 3rd District, cruised up to the U.S. Capitol for his first day of work on his Harley. The Republican defeated Democratic State Senator Brad Pfaff to win the seat that Democrat Ron Kind had filled for more than 20 years. He was sworn in as a new member of the 118th Congress. Back in La Crosse, several county elected officials also took an oath of office.
Swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
Sheriff John Siegel is the first Democrat in decades to hold the La Crosse County Sheriff position. He says he's already sought advice from other sheriffs and hopes to bring what he's learned to his new position.
Listening and always doing what's best for the community, always taking care of your deputies and your jailers, and making sure that that the community is cared for and that the people you work with are cared for.
Of course, Siegel defeating Fritz Leinfelder in a very close race. Siegel says his first 100 days will be filled with conversations and reflection. As sheriff, he hopes to make the department more visible to the community. In the meantime, Tammy Pedretti has also raised her right hand to be sworn in as La Crosse County's new clerk of courts.
It is a very proud moment for me, though. I've been working for this position for quite a while, and I'm very excited to be able to say that I'm now the clerk of court for La Crosse County.
Pedretti has 25 years of court system experience, but says being clerk will be a new challenge. She wants to get her office back up to full staff and running smoothly. The Red Cross wants to send you to the Super Bowl. If you donate blood or platelets between now and January 31st, the Red Cross will enter your name into a contest to win a trip for two to the Super Bowl in Arizona. The trip includes access to the stadium pregame activities, tickets to the Super Bowl experience, airfare, and 3-night hotel accommodations. To book an appointment, go to redcrossblood.org. Time is now 6:09 a.m. Still ahead on your morning news. Following the airline's schedule meltdown, Southwest says customers could be waiting a little longer until they receive their bags. And how the demand for snowmobiles and parts is overwhelming some stores. That and more still to come after the break. For now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. A Virginia woman's talent for sewing is bringing joy to patients and staff at a local hospital. It all started with just one walker bag for a friend, but it's now turned into hundreds of items for others. So since 2019, Helen Breeden has made 490 walker bags, 850 surgical caps, and more than 1,000 face masks for patients and staff at Sentara RMH. Breeden hopes to make a difference, contributing to causes close to her heart, like fighting cancer. Don't go anywhere. More News 8 Now this morning is coming up after this.
Well, we continue to watch all the snowy weather come down here across the Coulee region this morning, but this is mainly focused back towards the west here, where we're seeing some of those scattered snow bands here, mainly from about Wabasha County northward into around Dunn County, as well as into Eau Claire and Rusk County there. That's about it. But current temperatures are currently into those low to mid 30s, 32 in Winona now. It's 35 in La Crosse. Temperatures in Eau Claire currently at around 33 degrees. And a check now on your zone forecast calling for high temperatures today to be roughly mild, 36 in Bangor today, 35 in West Salem. It'll be 38 in Shelby, but meanwhile further south in Berry Mills today, you'll be looking at highs around 36 degrees, 35 in Hillsboro this afternoon, and a 38 in La Crosse. So it'll be 35 in Black River Falls today. Also pretty somewhat mild here across our north zones with highs around 35 in Eau Claire. So for you this morning, again, watch out for some of that fog, 34 degrees, and a few light snow showers around your lunch hour. We start to tap into more snow here once again this afternoon with 38 degrees just in time for dismissal. But stay tuned. We'll have a check on your full weather forecast in just a bit.
People with lost luggage may have to wait even longer to be reunited with their belongings. Southwest Airlines says it could be 2 weeks until passengers affected by the schedule meltdown will start to see their luggage again. Southwest Airlines CEO Bob Jordan says the airline is relying on volunteer employees working alongside those that normally deal with bags to return the bags. Southwest is working with FedEx as well as other airlines in an effort to get those bags returned by the end of this week. Volkswagen will reveal its next fully electric vehicle at the Consumer Electronics Show this Thursday. The new ID.7 sedan is planned to go on sale in the U.S. in 2024. It's expected to interact with its drivers through voice commands such as, "Hello, Volkswagen, my hands are cold." This command will start to heat up your steering wheel. The Volkswagen EV series was put in place to phase out gas-powered vehicles and go carbon neutral globally by 2050. Starbucks launched its winter menu this week with a new offering, the Pistachio Cream Cold Brew. The handcrafted drink features cold brew with vanilla syrup topped with pistachio cream cold foam and salty brown buttery sprinkles. The new item joins a returning seasonal fan favorite, the Pistachio Latte. Now that one was introduced in 2021. And the winter menu also includes the return of the Red Velvet Loaf to the bakery case. With more snow on the way, snowmobile sleds and parts are in pretty high demand this season. John Lortzen shows us why supply chain issues, though, are still having an impact on winter business.
The snowstorms obviously are a huge boost to our revenue stream for sure. Things amp up.
At Speedworks in Forest Lake, it's all hands on deck. The promise of fresh powder has them working overtime to get snowmobiles ready. But business was steady long before this.
Non-stop. I mean, we haven't slowed down for a couple months.
Having the early snow, when it happens early, a guy's like, you know what, I better get that sled fixed because now I'm going to be able to use it for another 1 or 2 months.
Co-owner Jeremy Hewell and other Twin Cities dealers say business is up anywhere from 10 to 25% from a year ago. Speedworks will tackle vintage snowmobiles up to the latest models. As quick as they work, they're still at the mercy of the supply chain, especially when it comes to parts.
It'll be the most random thing. One guy will be lucky, he'll bring his sled in and he'll need 25 parts, we'll get them all. Next guy will bring a sled in, he'll need 2, and one of them's on back order till May.
That means the winter fun for some clients is stuck in neutral, as sleds in need of repair keep coming in.
And this kind of says it all. Outside of Speedworks, there are still about 50 snowmobiles waiting to be serviced.
But Huel sees things getting better as manufacturers replenish the workforce lost during the pandemic. One thing's for sure, as long as the snow keeps coming, they'll stay busy.
This year across North America, from coast to coast right now, there's snow on the snow belt, so it's really good. It's the best in recent memory for sure.
Speedworks says depending on the parts that are needed, clients could go the rest of the winter before their snowmobile's fixed. They say it's best to check with them ahead of time to see what's needed.
Well, we continue to watch this winter storm that is containing some snow showers across the area, but these are mainly focused back towards the west, where we do have the majority of the snow ongoing, especially west towards the Twin Cities. They are actually getting pretty hammered right now with some pretty heavy snow bands, but the rest of us just looking at some scattered snow showers here that continue to move their way towards the north. The rest of us just looking mainly cloudy and somewhat foggy here as well, and that's all thanks to this the effects of this low pressure system rather that continues to affect a lot of us here across the upper Midwest, and stormy weather down at the south. But again, the majority of us here on the north side of this low. That's why we are looking at some wintry mix and some snow. Now, speaking of that, that's why we are still under these winter weather advisories in effect. The majority of this are winter weather advisories, but some of us here across northern Wisconsin and across north central Minnesota under winter storm warnings. As far as us here in the Coulee region, the only alerts that we have for you are these winter weather advisories across our northern zones, and this is until 6 p.m. for additional snowfall totals between anywhere 2 to 5 inches, and locally higher amounts also possible. In the meantime, our current visibility is looking low out there, so make sure to drive with those low beam headlights on as you get ready for your morning commute, as visibilities, as you can see behind me, 1 to 3 miles. In fact, it looks pretty cloudy out there right now in La Crosse with some of that fog. 3-mile visibility, 35 degrees is the temperature. Winds are currently looking calm. Meanwhile, to the north in Eau Claire, a little bit of snow being reported here, 33 degrees. I feel like temperature of 26, but notice the visibility. 3 miles here, also looking low. Northeast winds at 8. Current temperatures across the area, low to mid-30s, 32 in Winona now. We got 33 degrees for you in Viroqua and 35 some of the warmer spots down south in Bosquebel, with our forecast high temperatures today mainly into those mid-30s here, with 35 today in Winona, but highs could reach as warm as 38 though if you're in La Crosse here today. So after that fog clears out, a few snow showers begin to move in around noon today, and then some of that snow here still ongoing across the area by late this afternoon. A few light lingering snow showers as we head into the early evening hours as well. And you'll see this here on Sky Tracker here too, a couple of light scattered snow showers. But again, it looks like a lot of this will be mainly focused to the north, and at times we may start to see a couple of light snow showers across portions of the area, across the rest of the area rather, as we head into the afternoon, and also once again too as we head into the evening. Taking you into tonight, a couple of more scattered snow showers to the north and also here to the south. And it looks like as that low continues to move east, a couple more scattered snow showers spread over portions of our central and well into our eastern zones by tomorrow morning. And a few leftover lingering light snow and maybe even a few flurries possible tomorrow afternoon and also into the evening hours. Notice these temperatures really cooling down too, and that's because we do have a lot of cold air rushing in from the north behind that storm system that's going to be dropping our temperatures quite a bit. And you'll see that here on the 8-day forecast that our lows will start to drop into the low 30s starting Friday, and our highs rather into the low 30s, and our low temperatures drop into the teens here as we take you into the by the end of this week here as well. So we'll be getting a little cooler, and then kind of back to near seasonable levels here as we head into next week under fair weather conditions. Stay with us though, much more news and weather is still to come on News 8 Now this morning though. We are taking a very quick break with a look at what happened on this day in history for January 4th. We'll be right back. We are watching some scattered snow bands continuing to move in across the area, but these are mainly focused off to the west of us here this morning, with current temperature readings well into the 30s, 33 in Eau Claire and 35 degrees currently in La Crosse. The visibilities, though, are looking a little bit low out there, anywhere between around 1 to 3 miles here this morning. So make sure you use your low beam headlights and make sure to give yourself some extra time there as you head off to the morning commute. But if you're heading off to dog walking this morning, it's looking a bit foggy out there. A few snow showers as we head into your afternoon, and it looks like those snow bands kind of lingering here off and on as we head into the early evening as well. Stay tuned. We'll have another check on your commute forecast. That'll be coming up next in weather.
Welcome to the Blitz. The break is over. Athletes back in the classroom and finally back on the hardwood. And this is when it heats up. Lots of conference matchups all around the Coulee region last night. We'll start in the MVC. Big conference clash at Central. Riverhawks hosting Holman. Central up 13 at the break and adding to its second half off the steal. Henry Meyer taking it all the way to the hole. Riverhawks go up 16. Other end, Vikings trying to fight back. Reed Tengblad going to work. First one doesn't go. Second one no good. Third time's the charm. It's back to 14. But the Riverhawks flying away with this one. Nick Williams going to work in the post. Big man move. Puts Central up 16. Then it's the senior putting this one to bed. Central's Bennett Freed. Game high 27 on the night. Riverhawks soar past Holman 78-50. The girls' squads for the same two schools facing off at Holman. Late first half, Holman's Macy Klein moving up the court. She finds Izzy Jar along the baseline. The junior is good for 2. Vikings go up 3. Central responding quickly. Brittany Mislivicek taking it up the court. She got it that far. Might as well get the points. Riverhawks trail by 1. Holman would find their rhythm. A couple passes around the arc. Sets up Danica Raban for the triple. Holman wins this one 61-51. Staying in the MVC, Spartans and Blue Golds clashing at Aquinas High. First half, Blue Golds come out red hot. Tanner Peterson is going to knock down the 3. Aquinas takes an early 7-point lead, but the Spartans storm back. Gavin Reed posting up. Nice spin to the cup. Count it. Plus the foul. Sparta down just 1. But the Blue Golds catch fire from 3-point land. First, it's the freshman Logan Becker switching it home. Then it's Jonathan Skemp. Same result. And then how about Becker again, this time in the corner. The freshman not playing like one. Blue Golds get the win over Sparta, 82-68. Wisconsin back in conference action Tuesday night. Badgers hosting the Gophers late second half. It's Chucky Hepburn off the glass. Wisconsin up 7, but here comes Minnesota. Talon Cooper, strong drive to the hole here using the window. It's just a 3-point game. Badgers would miss the free throw that would have put them up 4, so the Gophers a chance to tie it. But it's Hepburn making the play of the game. He comes up with the steal. Gophers don't even get a shot off. Wisconsin survives. Badgers improve to 3-0 in the Big Ten. They win it 63-60. That'll do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
Welcome back to News 8 Now this morning. More than 180 Rohingya Muslims were rescued in Indonesia last week after drifting at sea for over a month in a broken down boat with no food, water, or medicine. The Muslim minority group has been attempting the treacherous journey from refugee camps in Bangladesh, where they've resided since fleeing a brutal campaign of killing by Myanmar's military. More than 24 died before their boat was found. Survivors described their horrific journey in search for a better life. Back stateside, the House of Representatives is postponed until noon today after Representative Kevin McCarthy failed to secure the necessary Republican support to gain Speaker of the House. The last time a Speaker of the House election had numerous ballots was in 1923. There were 3 yesterday. McCarthy didn't get the majority in any of them. Now, 20 Republicans voted against McCarthy during Tuesday's third and final vote. To secure a majority, McCarthy can only afford to lose 4 Republican votes. Travel woes continued Tuesday night as Delta Airlines confirmed one of its planes slid off a taxiway at Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport. There were no injuries reported, and crews have removed the aircraft off the runway by 9 p.m. overnight. The event comes as a winter storm dropped several inches of snow in the Twin Cities. Delta says the reason behind the incident was due to the extreme weather conditions causing the plane to go off the taxiway as it was turning towards the gate. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration will now allow certified pharmacies to dispense abortion pills to people who have prescription. Previously, the drugs had to be ordered, prescribed, and dispensed directly and in person from a certified healthcare provider. Pharmacy chains CVS and Walgreens say they are currently reviewing those changes. After the holidays, many Americans are considering cutting back on alcohol as part of Dry January. Michael George looks at the health benefits and the best ways to succeed.
Mahina Douglas loves to socialize, but lately she's been thinking about cutting back on alcohol.
I just felt like my drinking was getting, I guess, a little more than I was comfortable with it being.
She decided to try Dry January, a month-long sobriety challenge. She even hired a sober coach, Molly Desch.
Dry January actually has a ton of benefits. Aside from the health benefits, you'll have cleaner skin, you'll sleep better, you'll also save money.
Consumer insight group Valink says more than half of Americans say they want to reduce their alcohol intake. A study published in the British Medical Journal shows people who gave up alcohol for 1 month had significant improvements in their health and lost an average of 4 pounds. Desch says introducing a new hobby like exercise can help replace drinking.
And also have an accountability partner. So if you know somebody that also wants to participate in Dry January, boom, sign them up. You guys can text each other throughout the day if you're having a hard time. You can celebrate milestones.
Research also shows people who participate in Dry January often continue to drink less 6 to 8 months later.
Is the hope that the benefits of this will continue beyond January?
Yes, very much so. I'm looking for a lifestyle change that I can keep with me forever.
Douglas says since she stopped drinking, she's already noticed she's sleeping much better.
Sobriety coaches also say telling friends and family you're trying Dry January can help incentivize you to stay committed through the whole month. U.S. News & World Report released its 2023 diet rankings this week, and the Mediterranean style of eating was named the best overall diet for another year in a row. It features simple plant-based cooking with a focus on fruits and vegetables and whole grains. Studies have shown this style can reduce the risk of diabetes and high cholesterol. And the worst diet went to the raw foods diet for its lack of nutritional completeness and the difficulty to follow. The start of the new year, typically the start of those New Year resolutions, and for many that might be a healthy living or a fitness plan. Sticking to a new habit can be just as tough as creating one, though. So here are some tips from a few experts.
With the first day of the new year still in its first hours, Justin Boschwitz of Minneapolis is already getting a start on his resolution.
I thought a lot about what I want to achieve, and the biggest thing for me is to stay consistent.
As a lifetime Edina campus fills, he's aware this time of year is full of new beginnings, but also full of quick ends.
It's so easy to fall off. You come in the first of the year, you start doing your exercises, and you have that shot of energy. Fresh start, fresh year.
The Global Health and Fitness Association reports 12% of new gym signups happen in January.
Up and down.
But the group also says 4 out of 5 new members quit well before the summer.
You can have this big overall goal, but without a plan of action to get there, it can be really discouraging. It can be hard to get there without steps to take.
Lifetime trainer Taylor Homan is trying to make sure that doesn't happen here.
It starts with a specific measurable goal. So what is your ultimate goal and how are we going to get there? Breaking up the goal into small, achievable parts is what really makes the biggest difference.
For Justin, it's about having a workout partner.
It makes it a lot easier when you can feed off the energy of a friend or, someone that keeps you motivated.
It boils down to having good habits and maintaining good habits.
Taylor says group classes are a great place to start if you're starting solo.
The biggest reward is seeing somebody achieve that weight loss goal or achieve that strength goal. And for me, it is about helping them to live a healthy lifestyle.
She says it's also knowing healthy living is about more than just diet and exercise.
And that's something I can attest to as well. When my wife and I work out together, I definitely feed off of her energy. Can't recommend it enough to have that buddy. And if you're going to the gym for the first time, it's something I used to struggle with as well. You want to be nervous in the back of your head, thinking people will look at you and maybe judge you unfairly because you're, whatever you're dealing with. But just know, nobody cares about what you look like. They're all going in there to focus on what they want to do, what they want to accomplish. So don't feel nervous. You're going to go in and improve yourself. That's all what we're trying to do. So keep that mentality if you're doing that as part of a New Year's resolution this year. Let's switch gears now. Firefighters in Portage, Wisconsin faced an unlikely rival this week, butter. It happened Monday night during a dairy plant fire. So get this, the fire chief said crews responded to a report of smoke and fire at the commercial concrete building. And the fire started in a room with butter and caused it to melt, and that started to run through the entire building. Firefighters called in the hazmat team. They had to contain the butter in the storm sewers and into a nearby canal. Closer to home, the annual Keep the Wreath Green campaign did not go as well as firefighters had hoped. Local departments hang a wreath outside their stations between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and when they respond to a structure fire, they switch a bulb on the wreath from green to red. La Crosse Fire Chief Jeff Schott said area firefighters responded to 7 fires, including one in La Crosse that was fatal. Chief Schott says definitely wasn't what they were hoping for. The Holman High School Band is back in Wisconsin with some new hardware.
Best percussion and best auxiliary and best drum major and best music and best marching and best general effect goes to Holman High School.
I loved her delivery there. The Marching Vikings took home all those awards at the ReliaQuest Bowl Festival Parade competition down in Florida. They also took part in a halftime show with more than 1,300 performers, and they arrived back in Holman Tuesday evening with their trophies and that fire truck escort.
We continue to watch some of the scattered snow showers come down across the area. These are mainly focused, though, back towards the west. The rest of us, though, are looking fairly quiet and pretty dry, with temperatures in the low to mid 30s. 33 now in Eau Claire, 33 degrees the temperature, or 35 I should say, the temperature in La Crosse. Let's get checked now on your forecast for today. 38. Overall, a pretty foggy start outside, and that'll transition more to snow here later in the day. Winds, on the other hand, should remain light and variable. For tonight, we dropped down to 27 with some snow showers out there. An overall pretty mild night for this time of year. Light and variable winds as well for us to work with. Current road conditions showing that a lot of us here still dealing with a little bit of some slippery roadways here, slippery road stretches out there here this morning. So just be aware of that as you as you get ready for that morning commute. And again, fog, rain, and snow will be the main story here for the morning, and then transitioning more so to the snow showers here by the lunch hour. And then it looks like some of those scattered and remaining snow showers will continue well into your evening commute hours as well. But stay tuned. We'll have a final check on your full weather forecast. That'll be coming up in just a bit. Ken?
Thanks very much, Derek. Time is now 6:40 a.m. Coming up after the break, a new origin story. Netflix's newest flick revolving around one of America's most iconic writers. That's going to be coming up on our Buzz Report right after this.
Well, we continue to watch some of the scattered snow showers come down, but these are mainly focused back to our west, especially right around the Twin Cities area, where we're looking at some heavier snow coming down here, but the rest of us are just looking at some scattered snow shower activity. Again, that's mainly focused back to the west, and a lot of us here just dealing with cloudy weather conditions here as well, with some very foggy conditions to say the least too. We'll get to that in a second, but this is all really still associated with this very broad, strong low pressure system that continues to spin across the upper Midwest, providing some stormy weather conditions on the tail end of it here across the south, but across the northern sides here of the system here across the northern U.S., including the Midwestern United States, where again we're dealing with wintry mix and snow. And speaking of that, that's why we do have those winter weather alerts still in effect. A lot of us across the upper Midwest dealing with winter weather advisories, and in some spots we even got winter storm warnings across north central Minnesota as well as northern Wisconsin. Let's zoom in here to some of those winter weather advisories here in the Coulee region. And again, these are mainly across our north zones here where we have those in effect. The rest of us not under anything. It's just those north zones here until 6 p.m. for additional snowfall between 2 to 5 inches that could become possible. In the meantime, current visibility levels 1 to 3 miles. So be ready for your headlights to be turned on as far as the low beam headlights go. You'll need that here this morning. 35 degrees, cloudy skies, visibility being reported at 1 mile currently. Southeast winds at around 3 miles an hour. Current conditions in Eau Claire looking a little bit snowy here. Temperatures at 33 and a feel like temperature value of 26. A northeast wind at around 8 miles an hour. Our high temperatures across the area mainly into those low to mid 30s, with 32 in Viroqua, 33 in Sparta, and 32 degrees in Winona. Forecast high temperatures today mainly into the mid 30s here come this afternoon. So a pretty mild day though, to say the least. After that fog clears, we're looking at a few snow showers around noon today, and then that snow will continue late this afternoon and also kind of linger around as we head into the early evening hours. And you'll see that here on Sky Tracker as well, with some of those scattered light snow showers mainly off to the north, and a few light scattered snow showers as we head into the early to late afternoon hours. And this could even linger here, as I mentioned, maybe into the early evening. But again, a lot of that snow still kind of focused back towards the west. As we take you into overnight tonight, that low here kind of moves a little bit further east, and a couple of some scattered light snow showers kind of focused along our northern zones here once again, which is why we do have those winter weather advisories in place. And then by 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, a few scattered snow showers still possible. And then by tomorrow afternoon, a couple of light lingering snow, maybe a few flurries or two. And by tomorrow afternoon into the evening, looks like a lot of that here is gone. But cloudy skies, look at the temperatures dropping into the teens here behind that storm system, which is going to lower our temperatures here for not just tomorrow, but also into Saturday. We should be looking at highs into the low 30s for Friday and Saturday. And then again, those low 30s will continue into Sunday, also into early next week, Monday and Tuesday as well. Look at the low temperatures too on the bottom of your screen, lowering into the teens here by Friday and continuing into this weekend and also into early next week on Monday morning. Now we should be getting a little bit more mild as highs will reach 36 degrees for your Wednesday as some warmer air moves into the area.
In our Buzz Report this morning, actor Jeremy Renner is recovering in a hospital bed after a New Year's Day accident near his home in Nevada. The 51-year-old posted a selfie from his hospital bed, thanked his fans for the kind words. The Avengers star was run over by his snowplow, suffering blunt chest trauma and other injuries. The local sheriff says the accident happened while Renner was helping a family member who was stranded in 3 feet of snow. Christian Bale and Harry Melling are starring in the historical murder mystery The Pale Blue Eye, a new film coming to Netflix that features a young Edgar Allan Poe at the center of the story. The film follows Bale, who's playing a detective investigating a series of murders that occur at West Point Military Academy. Harry Melling portrays a young cadet, Edgar Allan Poe, who aids Bale along the way. The movie will be available on Netflix this Friday. And good news for fans of the Today Show. Al Roker set to return Friday. The longtime weatherman has been out of work since November. A blood clot in his leg traveled to his lungs and led to 2 hospitalizations. The issue also caused him to miss hosting the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade and the lighting of the Christmas tree at Rockefeller Center. He's been a staple at both of those traditions for years. Roker's Today on-air co-workers announced his expected return on Tuesday. All right, it is 6:48, and we are heading to break with today's Look Who's 8. Derek?
That's right, Ken. We got a birthday here to celebrate today, and this is to Tom, who is turning 80. Now, Tom enjoys puzzles, reading, and going on bus trips. So happy birthday to you, Tom.
Absolutely. And if you know a special someone turning 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88 years old soon, we'd love to feature them.
That's right. Just upload their photo to our website. It's news8000.com, and you're going to look for the Submit Pictures button. That's under the Home tab on our website.
Stay with us. We have everything you need to know today in 5 minutes or less. Your Morning News Now is coming up next. Welcome back. It is 6:52 a.m. Time for your Morning News Now. Wisconsin's new congressman representing the 3rd District, Derek Van Orden, cruised to the U.S. Capitol for his first day of work on his Harley. A Republican defeated Democratic State Senator Brad Pfaff to win the seat that Democrat Ron Kind filled for more than 20 years. He was officially sworn in as a new member of the 118th Congress. Back in La Crosse, several county elected officials also took the oath of office. Sheriff John Siegel is now the first Democrat in decades to hold the La Crosse County Sheriff position. Siegel says he's already sought advice from other sheriffs and hopes to bring what he's learned to the new position.
Listening and always doing what's best for the community, always taking care of your deputies and your jailers, and making sure that that the community is cared for and that the people you work with are cared for.
Siegel, of course, defeated Republican Fritz Leinfelder in a razor-thin race. Siegel says his first 100 days will be filled with conversations and reflection. And as sheriff, he hopes to make the department more visible to the community. In the meantime, Tammy Pedretti has also raised her right hand to be sworn in as La Crosse County's new Clerk of Courts.
It is a very proud moment for me, though. I've been working for this position for quite a while, and I'm very excited to be able to say that I'm now the Clerk of Court for La Crosse County.
Pedretti has 25 years of court system experience, but says being clerk will be a new challenge. She wants to get her office back up to full staff and running smoothly. 9 people have filed papers for the 4 vacant seats that will appear on La Crosse's school board April ballot. 4 board members whose seats are up for election have chosen not to run again. 3 of those vacant seats are available 3-year terms, the last seat available for just 1 year. La Crosse's City Planning Commission voted to rezone a future 4-story building in the Washburn neighborhood. The building will have 64 housing units. In order to have a better chance of qualifying for low-income tax credits, the developers are adding a 360 square foot classroom or community facility that would be open to the public.
These programs and services could include financial literacy classes, employment counseling, job readiness skills, GED classes, and much more.
The programming and scheduling of the space would be up to the on-site property manager. Since it's open to the public, the building needed to be zoned differently. The building will have both low-income and market-rate units. The La Crosse Planning Commission also approved a grant agreement with the Wisconsin Department of Transportation to expand the Wagon Wheel Trail. The trail is already open in La Crescent, and the grant will expand it to connect both La Crescent and La Crosse. It'll run along Highway 1461, crossing the Mississippi River. There are also plans in place to widen sidewalks as well as add signage. And the Red Cross wants to send you to the Super Bowl. If you donate blood or platelets between now and January 31st, the Red Cross will enter your name into a contest to win a trip for 2 to the Super Bowl featuring the Packers and Dolphins. Right, we'll just manifest that right now. The trip includes access to the stadium pregame activities, tickets to the Super Bowl experience, as well as airfare and 3-night hotel accommodations. So to book an appointment, just go to redcrossblood.org.
I think we got to clinch first, Ken, don't you think, before we get to the Super Bowl? Oh, gosh. Let's take a look at that day planner here for you. We'll be looking at some foggy conditions here this morning, and then kind of like snow mixing with rain at times around 9, and then that's all going to transition to over some snow showers late this morning into the early afternoon, and also into early this evening, too. So that's what we'll be watching here throughout the day. Those winter weather advisories remain in effect until 6 p.m. across our northern zones, but other than that, no one else is under those advisories yet.
And like those models kind of showed, I mean, right now Minnesota and the Twin Cities especially just has that solid mass just centered around them.
Yeah, they're just getting hammered right now.
But as it pushes east, it'll kind of break up a little bit more.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it will break up as that low kind of pivots east, so that's kind of what we're watching right now.
Okay, I know those Twin Cities, they have their equivalent of 511, their website to show road conditions. All exclamation points around the Twin Cities, so it is absolutely incredible what they're having to deal with out there. I think we'll take the rain-snow mix for as long as possible.
And if you have travel plans west into Minnesota, make sure to kind of give yourself some extra time. Be aware for some of those roads, too.
Absolutely. That's Derek Sibley. I'm Ken Kozarowski. Thank you so much for watching this morning, and have a great rest of your day.